Good afternoon, everybody. I'll ask everybody to take their seats, please. We'll get started very, very shortly. Okay, welcome everybody. It's a pleasure to be here this evening with you all. Just a couple of housekeeping issues. So obviously exits that way, toilets just off to the right. And I'll just remind everybody it is an official board meeting this evening. So I will be chairing it and there will be some board formalities. But it's a great pleasure to have you here and welcome to the Albury Wodonga Health AGM for 2024. My name's Jonathan Green and it's a privilege to serve as chair of Albury Wodonga Health Board of Directors and to host this evening's proceedings. And it's a great pleasure to have you here tonight. As we gather for this significant occasion, I'd like to begin by acknowledging our First Nations people as the traditional custodians of the land on which we live, work and meet this evening. This land has never been ceded and always was and always will be Aboriginal land. And we recognise the strength and the resilience of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people and their continuing connection to land, water and to community. We pay our respects to elders past and present and to any First Nations people who may be in attendance here with us this evening. Welcome. And tonight is no ordinary AGM or no ordinary meeting. It's a celebration of 15 incredible years of Albury Wodonga Health. This milestone marks a journey of growth, of learning and most importantly of service to our community. And the theme of tonight's event, Reflect, Renew and Reimagine, invites us to reflect on our achievements, renew our ongoing commitment to the provision of exceptional care, and reimagine the bright future we are all building here together. I'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the distinguished guests with us this evening, including Councillor Kevin Mack, Jackie Kelly, the CEO of Benalla Health, Serima Helia, CEO of Regional Development Murray, Rhys Glowry, the Interim CEO of Alpine Health, Robin Henschritt, CEO of Wodonga Health, Councillor Michael Goebel, Mayor of Wodonga, and Matthew Hyde, CEO of Wodonga. I'd also like to acknowledge my fellow board directors present here this evening. I would ask each director just to stand as I call your name, just so everyone here is familiar with who you are. Our Deputy Chair, Angela Verdi. Thank you, Angela. Ross Dallimore. Thank you, Ross. Ashley Boyd. Thank you, Ashley. Anthony Hernan. Tammy Atkins. Thank you, Tammy. And Elizabeth Lucan. And I will acknowledge Dr. Jim Mackey, who is not here this evening, but is with us online watching. Special welcome to Tammy, Anthony and Elizabeth, who joined our board on the 1st of July of this year. On the same note, we'd also express our heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Rowan O'Hagan and Trent Dean, who completed their tenures on the board on the 30th of June. Their dedication to our health service has left a long-lasting impact and we sincerely thank them both for their contributions. We're also incredibly grateful to all CEOs, board members from our surrounding health services and Albury Wodonga Health staff members who are here with us this evening. Your presence is a testament to the strong partnerships and shared vision that have shaped our success over the past 15 years. We've received apologies from the following who are unable to join us tonight, who have, however, expressed their continued support for Albury Wodonga Health's remarkable 15-year journey, and that is a singular apology from the board, which is Anne-Marie Keenan. This evening's AGM gives us an opportunity to look back on the 2024 year, and tonight you'll hear from our Chief Executive Officer, Bill Appleby, who'll share our key achievements and milestones. You'll also hear from our Chair of the Board, Finance, Audit, Infrastructure and Risk Subcommittee, Ross Dallimore, who will present our financial report and providing insight on how we continue to strengthen and invest in our services for the future. But the heart of tonight's event is our wonderful, wonderful people. And you'll hear from 7 exceptional staff members who will each share their unique stories, reminding us of the power and purpose behind our 15-year celebration. Through Reflect, Renew and Reimagine, We are celebrating not just the past, but the promising future we are continuing to work towards, a future built on compassion, on innovation and continued dedication to our staff and patients. As part of tonight's evening's proceedings, we'll address questions on notice, which the opportunity has been provided to the community to put those to us. And thank you to everyone who submitted questions in advance. We won't be taking questions from the floor tonight. However, if you do have a question that wasn't submitted beforehand, we warmly invite you to submit those by email and we'll do our best to get back to you as soon as we possibly can. We're committed to ensuring that every inquiry is addressed and that contact details for provision of the questions to us, if there are further ones, will be provided this evening should you wish. Before we begin with presentations, I'll invite our board directors to declare any interests or lobbying activities. No, thank you. The minutes of last year's AGM, held on Tuesday the 12th of December 2023 at the Cube in Wodonga, have been tabled for confirmation, and I will move that motion that those minutes be accepted as a true and accurate record of those proceedings. Are we happy to endorse those? Thank you, directors. Now, without further ado, it's now my great pleasure to introduce our CEO, Bill Appleby, to present the 23-24 year in review, a year that's been marked by dedication, collaboration and a forward-thinking approach to healthcare. And please join me in welcoming Bill to the stage. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, John. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's so nice to actually be here and see so many people here supporting us, here to celebrate the great achievements of the year that was. As I stand here this evening, I'm reminded of the words of JFK. Change is a law of life, and those who look only at the past or the present are certain to miss the future. In our celebration at this 15-year milestone, and reflecting on the past year, it becomes clear progress is not merely defined by the steps that we take forward, but how we navigate the challenges that shape our path. Over these 15 years, we have demonstrated resilience and adaptability, responding to obstacles with creativity and strength. Each hurdle we've encountered has been an opportunity to learn, to adapt, to renew our commitment to excellence in healthcare. In this spirit of reflection and renewal, we are poised to reimagine what lies ahead. Our experiences have laid a solid foundation, enabling us to imagine a future where we not only meet the evolving needs of our community, but also lead the change in transformative healthcare solutions. Together, let us reimagine the future of health services for our border region. Celebrate our progress, understand that we do have challenges, and ignite the possibilities that await us in the coming years. Tonight, we are extremely proud to reflect on a year marked by significant milestones and transformative projects, and celebrate the strides in advancing the health and wellbeing of our community. This year heralded the commencement of our strategic plan, Transforming for Our Future, an ambitious 5-year roadmap designed to meet the evolving needs of our community and the directives of the Victorian Health Department. Our plan emphasises safety, service development, technological advancements, infrastructure investments, and we know a lot about that, workforce enhancement, leadership, partnerships, and community engagement through 4 key pillars. Firstly, safe, connected care, empowered teams, regional leadership, and sustainable services, developed through extensive engagement with our staff, community members, and regional health partners. This plan will guide us towards excellence in healthcare delivery in the years ahead. A landmark achievement this year was, of course, the opening of our Stage 1, the Albury campus, $36 million investment in our ED department, inaugurated by the Honourable Victorian Health Minister, Mary Ann Thomas. And it was a great day, the 10th of April, when we opened Stage 1. This state-of-the-art facility marks a bold leap forward in our healthcare capabilities, supporting our deep commitment to advancing patient care in our region, tripling the previous floor space and introducing innovative features and cutting-edge technologies to improve efficiency and effectiveness in emergency medicine. The new emergency department embodies a significant enhancement in service delivery capability for our region, standing as a testament to our dedication to exceptional care and addressing the evolving health needs of a diverse community. Our advocacy to strengthen and grow our healthcare service for the shifting needs of the border community remains a very strong focus. This year, we participated in the Victorian Health Service reform work led by Bob Cameron with the expert advisory panel that reviewed the health system over the last 12 months. This important initiative will shape the future of the Victorian health system, and given our crucial role in regional leadership, AWH has actively contributed through regional planning workshops and made a number of submissions over the last 12 months. Our journey of continuous improvement has been acknowledged through our successful accreditation under the new short notice accreditation regime, meeting all 8 national safety and quality health service standards, the clinical care standards and the National Clinical Trial Governance Framework reflects our ongoing commitment to high quality, safe and person-centred care. This is underscored by our strengthened clinical governance framework that we've implemented across the organisation, revitalised committee structure including our board subcommittees, and focus on incremental service improvement using the Institute of Health and Improvement methodology. We've also undertaken an extensive independent review of our cancer services, working collaboratively with Safer Care Victoria to ensure that we can consistently provide timely, safe and accessible care for all cancer patients living on the region. In alignment with our strategic goal of digital transformation, we have made substantial progress in leveraging technology to enhance clinical efficiency and safety across the organisation. The implementation of our new information system at our Albury campus ED has improved our patient management capabilities. Additionally, the successful rollout of our region-wide patient administration system across 14 health services within the Hume region through partnership with the Hume Region Health Alliance is set to optimise safety, efficiency and regional capability. And that is such a milestone, 15 years in the making. So well done to all those people who have been involved in that successful implementation. Furthermore, we've introduced Maya, which is an access solution, a new initiative designed to enhance regional patient flow opportunities across the various health services that exist within the Hume region. Lastly, we've also invested heavily in upgrading technology capability in our people management area, and as you've heard, workforce is one of our key 4 pillars through the successful implementation of success factors which will allow us to better manage our people. The 2023 Albury Wodonga Staff and Volunteer Excellence Award ceremony was certainly a wonderful highlight of the year. Keynote speaker Rachel Robinson, a dynamic leader who led the 58th Australian National Antarctic Research Expedition to Davis Station, joined us to celebrate the outstanding contributions of our staff and our volunteers. This wonderful event highlighted the dedication and professionalism of individual teams across the organisation who exemplify our core values. Together we recognised excellence in partnerships, in innovation, person-centred care, teamwork, rising talent and volunteerism. And our very own Dr. Barb Robinson received the special Spirit of Albury Wodonga Award, which is our Golden Globe, for her exceptional and sustained contribution to service at Albury Wodonga Health. These awards underscore our commitment to fostering a supportive and empowering environment for our staff and volunteers where excellence is celebrated. Innovation remains a key enabler in our aim to inspire, connect and showcase the great work that's being done across our health service. This is illustrated by the success of ROVER, our ROVER program, which is rapid on-site virtual essential response designed to improve patient care by reducing hospital readmissions and enhancing post-discharge support. This program has supported over 340 newly discharged patients in its first year of operation and secured continued funding to do so, reinforcing its role in our broader strategy to integrate virtual care into our patient demand services. The Hume City to City Run Walk, marking its 10th and final year in 2024, provided an opportunity to reflect on and celebrate the transformative impact of community spirit and support for our health service. Over the past decade, this event has raised over $1 million for Albury Wodonga Health, significantly contributing to our healthcare services. This year's focus was on women's health, and it underscores our commitment to addressing the unique healthcare needs of our entire community. The funds raised will enable us to continue providing essential services and support for women. We also thank the foundations who support us, our various corporate sponsors who generously get behind us, our community groups and individual donors whose critical contributions over the last 12 months continue to support the vital work of our staff. This year also presented an invaluable opportunity to address gendered violence and a renewed focus in that area. As a major healthcare provider, we recognise our role in preventing and responding to family and domestic violence, a scourge in society. Our dedication to this cause is integral to the delivery of holistic, compassionate care, has seen us implement robust policies and initiatives to foster a workplace culture that encourages disclosure and provides comprehensive support to all victims. By enhancing staff training, expanding partnerships with local service providers and integrating trauma-informed care practices, we strive to create safe and supportive environment for everyone. Albury Wodonga Health is committed to delivering health and wellbeing services that are safe and accessible for our First Nations people. Our new strategic plan identifies meaningful engagement with communities that deliver culturally safe and effective and responsive care as a priority for coming years. Across 2024, we reviewed our Aboriginal Health and Safety Quality Plan, ensuring we continuously evaluate the effectiveness of services for Aboriginal people in our area. We revised our Aboriginal Employment Plan and, importantly, committed to undertaking a Reconciliation Action Plan. We have expanded our Aboriginal liaison services to our admitted and emergency departments to meet the needs of our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander patients. We continue to work to establish clear guidelines and principles to support our staff in building effective relationships, establishing partnerships and following protocols when engaging with our Aboriginal communities. Looking to the future, we embrace the opportunity to reflect, to renew and to reimagine healthcare on the border during our 15th year anniversary of Albury Wodonga Health. This pivotal moment coincides with a once-in-a-generation opportunity to reimagine our health services infrastructure through the $558 million joint Victorian and New South Wales investment in the Albury Wodonga Regional Hospital project. This investment will enhance our health services quality and capability to meet the growing needs of our communities. We thank everyone involved in the design and planning to ensure that we have a viable project that will deliver better facilities for our staff and to improve health outcomes for our community. Hand in glove with this investment on the Albury campus is the crystallisation of the future role of our Wodonga campus. A critical missing piece to our future has been the finalisation of the Wodonga Campus Entity Service Plan, developed in partnership with our clinicians and the Victorian Department of Health and approved in September 2024. The pages of our annual report contain lots of facts and lots of figures, but those don't alone tell the whole story of Albury Wodonga Health. Hidden within each of the pages are the everyday acts of kindness of our staff and the efforts of our committed volunteers and the relentless dedication of our clinicians and our professionals. A special thanks to the leaders across the organisation, and I'm not just talking about the executive, I'm talking about all leaders, and at Albury Wodonga Health we have 180 people who occupy leadership positions across 3,500 staff. So I'd just like to thank those leaders for their dedication to working intelligently, using a values-based lens in their decision-making in a fast-moving, often resource-challenged critical health service. So thank you to those leaders. As John said, we bid farewell to three amazing directors, Dr. Rowan O'Hagan, Associate Professor Joanne Mazzio, and Trent Dean, and we thank them for their service and their contribution to the board over that time. We also sincerely thank Therese Teeney for her significant contribution as ministerial delegate over the past 2 years. We have welcomed three new directors, as John mentioned, who commenced in July 2024, Elizabeth Lucan, Tammy Atkins and Anthony Hernan, whose diverse expertise will be invaluable as we navigate the opportunities and the challenges that lie ahead. The 23-24 year has been transformative at Albury Wodonga Health. The launch of our new strategic plan, the progress in planning our new clinical services building at the Albury campus, the Wodonga Campus Entity Service Plan, along with significant milestones and community-driven initiatives, they have set a strong foundation for future growth and excellence within our health service and within our region. We are immensely proud of our achievements and remain dedicated to advancing the health and wellbeing of our border communities. Thank you for your continued support and partnership as we embark on this exciting journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. So as we celebrate our 15-year anniversary, it's a fantastic opportunity tonight to reflect on our incredible journey together. Each year has brought its challenges and triumphs, shaped by the dedication and the passion of a truly remarkable team. And I'm delighted to spotlight one of our organisation's outstanding individuals tonight, Jessica Amy, Program Manager for Access to Care. Jess has been integral to our success over the past 15 years, exemplifying our purpose through their ongoing commitment to our community. To guide us through this reflection, we'll have our Director of Communications, Sadie Tilleray, will join us on the stage. And so Sadie, please come up and please join me in welcoming Sadie as she hosts this special segment and leads us in hearing from Jess about their personal journey with Albury Wodonga Health and Jess's experience and how Jess's experience have shaped not only her career, but also our organisation as a whole. So I'll hand it over to you, Sadie. Thank you.
Thanks, Jonathan, and a warm welcome to everyone here tonight as we celebrate the incredible 15-year journey of Albury Wodonga Health. I'm genuinely thrilled to host this session where we'll be shining a spotlight on the incredible Jessica Amy, our Program Manager for Access to Care. Jess, would you please join us on the stage? So, Jess, your story is really woven into the fabric of Albury Wodonga Health, and I'm really excited to be able to share and hear more, and the whole room to hear more about your experiences over the last 15 years. It's a really great opportunity for us to reflect on your own personal journey with us and how it's not only shaped your professional life, but also contributed to the growth and the evolution of Albury Wodonga Health as a whole. So, let's start a little bit with talking about your journey here at AWH and the impact you've made along the way. So, reflecting on this, how have your experiences at Albury Wodonga Health shaped your personal and professional development over the years?
Hello, everybody. My name is Jess. Thank you for the extraordinary welcome. I worked in bike stores before I started in health. And so, for me, my time at AWH has been interesting. I started as an allied health assistant, which is an awesome role which basically helps our allied health professionals continue to work at the top of their scope while the therapy is completed predominantly by an allied health assistant. So lots of hands-on, face-to-face work with our clients. I worked in lots of different wards across Albury Wodonga Health, and so that strong foundation of multidisciplinary and across the health service, that good foundation was laid. And then really from there, I took an opportunity in a development role in lean improvement back in the day and really enjoyed it. And so since then, I've had some great managers across my time who have helped me to realise that you look like you're really enjoying this role. Can you see you feel light? Can you see you feel fresh? And you're doing good things. And so they've helped me personally and professionally to seek out roles which I'm enjoying and which I'm good at. So they tell me I'm good at it. Look, anytime we start on a new journey, we do a bit of what I call bumper bowling, where you just either redirect yourself or someone else does it for you. And so we all do that, but with some good mentors and managers over my time, I've been able to hopefully not do as much bumper bowling now, and I'm doing some improvement work, which is part of the reason I applied for this role, because providing access to care is what we do, and helping our clinicians to understand the very, very complex systems and processes that we're working within and creating with each other, for each other, for the benefit of our community, is awesome. So we get in and we get the job done.
Absolutely. I'm going to remember that, bumper bowling. I like that.
Oh, I use it a lot.
So many memorable moments you've already mentioned, Jess, and probably a few more in there in your history as well. Could you maybe share with us a particular one that stands out to you, whether that be a significant challenge, a victory, or something that's been really rewarding over your journey?
I have a couple written down here, but Bill's already taken the succession of people that it's taken over 15 years to do the patient administration system, to implement that software. So there's that. The first thing I thought of when I read this question was in 2012, somebody in Allied Health said the London Olympics is on. Let's have our own Allied Health Olympics. And so somebody created during our lunchtimes a really tight schedule of events. But that was colleagues having fun together in a lunch break, and it was really memorable. The patient administration system thing is all about the people. And that's really, we keep hearing, it's already in a very short amount of time, a recurring theme is our people at Albury Wodonga Health get the job done. And that's, I think if you ask anybody their personal why, that's what it'll come down to. It's our community, we're in our community, my loved ones are here, your loved ones are here, and we want to do our best for each other in our community. So they're my memorable moments, really.
Great. And you've sort of touched on this one a little bit already about those community needs. So in your time here, how have you observed those changing needs of our community, and what has that meant for your work and for the purpose of Albury Wodonga Health as a whole?
Really common things. I'm not into every part of our organisation, so I'm pretty good at 70% of things, and the rest of the 30% I rely on my colleagues for. So I don't know exactly on all of the changing needs of our community, but I've done a bit of work in our public health unit, and I really, in my reflection, seeing the changing needs of our community, it's almost a little bit of what we've been able to do to meet their needs over the time. And so we've opened up a rehab ward, which is a purpose-built facility, in 2015. We've got, an ability to provide the care that our community needs, and they probably always have needed it. So it's not a changing need necessarily, but we can do that now. There's the multidisciplinary team wrapping arms around individual patients. There's a simplified kitchen so they can practice their activities of daily living in the same spot. There's a co-located gym, and it's pretty phenomenal. One of the things I learnt this year, again, I don't know everything that goes on, is that we can do day-only pacemaker insertions at our health service. Again, not a changing need, but we're delivering care closer to home. And it's just phenomenal.
It is. That's a massive achievement and a great milestone to mention. As we're sort of here to celebrate some of the rest of those milestones over the last 15 years, could you maybe mention some of your achievements or some of the initiatives of Albury Wodonga Health's past that you're particularly proud of, and why they've resonated with you?
Thanks. This is quite a privilege. And I just want to acknowledge that I've been here since around 2011, not quite the 15 years, but there's many people that have been at our 2 different hospitals for a very long time, and that you probably, lots of you are here tonight, and so I can reflect back that far, but we're still walking on, these things that people have paved the way for in the past. So in my short time, compared to some people, I don't think I can go past the once in a 100-year pandemic. I was pretty involved in it. I was asked to be on the internal COVID response team inside Albury Wodonga Health. I then was asked to project manage the vaccination program for North East Victoria. And it was pretty traumatic, lots of it, like COVID wasn't it? But we had a red hot crack, and we did a lot of things right. We were if not the first, we were one of the very first drive-through COVID testing clinics in Victoria, maybe Australia. We got a bus to deliver the vaccine to our other local government areas that we were responsible for. We repurposed an old supermarket so we could get as high a throughput as people as possible that could wait, learning about load levelling of how long did tasks take, and then providing a big enough wait area for people to do that. And I've worked with some amazing clinicians over that time. So they're some of my big achievements, most memorable. Yep.
Thank you. And just to wrap things up, as lessons from some of those moments and lessons from your journey, what are some of those insights that you've gained from your time at Albury Wodonga Health, and how do you think that you will benefit and the future of healthcare professionals will benefit from those insights and for the organisation as a whole?
Yeah, thanks. Stay curious and stay humble. During the COVID-19 response, I jumped onto Audible. Reading makes me sleepy, but in the 20-minute drive to and from work, I can get a lot of books read in a year. And so one of my favourite books was called The Humble Inquiry by an author called Edgar Schein. It's a very thin book and easy to read if anyone's interested. I did look at the book. It encourages you really just to stay humble. Don't ask loaded questions. I'm an improvement and innovation advisor, or I come in and help people and understand their systems and processes. Sometimes I'm asked to go into areas to do that with them, and I do my best to come in and just ask questions in a humble and curious manner, because I'm there to understand and advocate for our community. And so really get in and ask questions and just see the people doing their work. Yeah.
Thank you, Jess, so much for sharing your reflections with us tonight. What an incredible impact you've made at Albury Wodonga Health. I think we can all agree. Thank you so much, Jess. And here's the next 15 years of your journey with Albury Wodonga Health.
Thanks very much.
I'll now pass back to Jonathan to continue.
Thank you, Sadie and Jess. Jess, your stories and reflections really reinforce the importance of collaboration and connection as we look ahead to the next chapter ahead of us. And for now, it's my pleasure to invite our Board Director, Ross Dallimore, Chair of the Board Finance, Audit, Infrastructure and Risk Committee, to present the 23-24 Annual Report Financial presentation. And please join me in welcoming Ross to the stage.
Thank you, John, and good evening, everyone. Like the majority of health services in Victoria, the 2023-2024 financial year was challenging for Albury Wodonga Health as we transformed to a new government funding model. Importantly and pleasingly, in this financial year, our first quarter performance is meeting our statement of priorities by achieving a break-even operating result while meeting the required activity for clinical care. I'm now pleased to present the financial summary demonstrating the 5-year trend across operating results, revenues, expenses, assets and liabilities. VAGO audited the 23-24 financial report for Albury Wodonga Health, which comprises the balance sheet as of the 30th of June 2024, comprehensive operating statement for the year then ended, statement of changes in equity for the year then ended, cash flow statement for the year, notes to the financial statements including significant accounting policies, board members' accountability and officers, chief finance and accounting officers' declarations. In their opinion, the financial report represents fairly and in all material respects the financial position of the Health Service as of the 30th of June 2024. And our financial performance and cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with the financial reporting requirements, Part 7 of the Financial Management Act 1994 and applicable accounting standards. The total operating net result was a deficit of $52.4 million as the Health Service continues to operate in a difficult environment to meet the ever-increasing demand from the community for services provided by Albury Wodonga Health. The significant movement in the operating net result from prior year has been largely driven by a lower level of funding, and as the Health Service transitions to a new funding regime from the Department of Health, as well as increased price pressures for labour resources to support the critical services provided by the Health Service, such as EBA increases and the requirement to secure alternate sources of labour through external recruitment agencies. Noting that the statement of priorities for Albury Wodonga Health from the Department of Health for 23-24 was an expected deficit position. Our revenue and expenses, our total operating revenue for the year was $461.1 million. The slight reduction in revenue year on year is largely attributable to the lower level operational and capital funding from the Department of Health compared to prior year, along with a reduction in COVID-19 inventory received from Monash Health, which was provided free of charge. The average compound growth rate of revenue over that 5-year period was 8.8%. In terms of expenses, total operating expenses for the year were $512.5 million. The increase on prior year has been largely driven by an increase in labour expenses, as I referred to earlier, resulting from EBA increases, a slight increase in our full-time and equivalent numbers, and an uplift in the use of agency-provided labour. We have also seen an increase in our spend on accommodation providers to accommodate our agency labour who primarily reside outside of the region. The average compound rate of expenses over that 5-year period was 10.5%. In terms of assets and liabilities, the value of total assets at the 30th of June 2024 was $273.1 million. This is an uplift in assets year on year and has been driven by a valuation increment in land and buildings, noting that the valuation increment primarily relates to the valuation assessments of the Wodonga Hospital campus and the Albury Wodonga Regional Cancer Centre. These uplifts have been marginally offset by a lower holding of cash and cash equivalents at end of year compared to our prior year. The average compound growth of total assets over the 5-year period was 11.1%. In terms of liabilities, the value of our total liabilities at the end of the financial year was $141.2 million. The increase in total liabilities year on year is a direct result of an increase in trade creditors, a high level of capital grant funding held on the balance sheet for future expenditure, and an uplift in employee leave provisions, which continue to be a key area of focus by management. The average compound growth rate of total liabilities over the 5-year period was 13.2%. Thank you, Jonathan. That concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Ross. I will now move a motion that the 2024 annual report, which is being tabled this evening, also available for our attendees to take home, including the financial statements as presented by Ross Delamore, be adopted by the Board of Directors. Can I please have that motion approved? Thank you. Thanks so much. Continuing on with our 15-year milestone, it's my very great pleasure to introduce two outstanding leaders within our organisation who embody the spirit of renewal in their work every single day. Please join me in welcoming Tim Malone, Perioperative Services Manager, and Joe Owen, the Paediatric Nurse Unit Manager, as they share their insights and vision for the Renew chapter of our journey. Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, good evening, everyone. Today, Tim and I are here to reflect on a powerful theme for Albury Wodonga Health's 15-year anniversary, Renew. At Albury Wodonga Health, renewal goes beyond just a commitment to healthcare. We're actively reshaping our future to ensure we're ready to meet the growing needs of our community. If I had to choose one word that captures how we've renewed ourselves over the past year, it would be innovation. For us, Renew means staying true to our purpose, our role, and our commitments, while constantly evolving to deliver the best care. It's about recommitting to healthcare excellence and innovation with the promise of a healthier future for our region.
As we look back, the last 15 years have shaped our approach to healthcare. Each challenge and success has strengthened us, laying the groundwork for this new phase of growth. We're in a different healthcare landscape today, under more pressure, with more desire to provide access to care, closer to home and more focused than ever on the patient journey and experience. Our story is one of progression, of strategic thinking and teamwork. We're changing mindsets, proving what's possible at a regional level. With every success, we're thinking about what we can achieve for our community and renewing our commitment to the region.
Today, we are proud to highlight some of our key initiatives that embody the idea of renewal and commitment to improving patient care locally. We continue to work in partnership with metropolitan hospitals to bring specialised services closer to home, sparing our patients the long-distance travel while ensuring they receive high-quality care right here in our region. Collaborations like these redefine what's possible in regional healthcare and reinforce our dedication to innovation. Through the generosity of local support, including funds raised through the City to City Run Walk and many other philanthropic endeavours, we've been able to introduce new technologies and expand services that otherwise would be out of reach. This wouldn't be possible without our community, and it strengthens our advocacy efforts, helping us secure the resources necessary for continued growth and advancement.
Innovation is reshaping the way our clinicians view what's achievable here at AWH. These initiatives bring a new perspective, one that strengthens our ability to meet evolving needs, delivering cutting-edge care and serving our community in impactful ways. Our renewed focus on progress means we're not only responding to the current needs, but actively preparing to lead in regional healthcare.
As we look to the future, we're excited by the possibilities that lie ahead. Our plans for continual renewal include further strengthening our collaboration and partnerships with tertiary centres, always looking for new opportunities to implement models of care locally that can keep our children and families at home where it's safe and possible to do so. We have seen the overwhelming impact that the implementation of the Albury Wodonga Health Paediatric Cancer Care Nurse Coordinator role has had for our local children and families undergoing treatment for a diagnosis of childhood cancer. This role provides families a local advocate who understands their challenges, the local capabilities, and provides personalised care, bridging the gap between regional and tertiary healthcare, ensuring families don't have to face these challenges alone. We've more recently seen the implementation of Albury Wodonga Health's very first dedicated paediatric HIF program, affectionately known as PATCH, Paediatrics at the Child's Home. This provides eligible young patients to receive high-quality care in the comfort of their own homes, helping families avoid lengthy hospital stays and reducing the strain on hospital resources. These are two examples of innovative approaches that not only enhance the patient experience, but also reflect our commitment to flexible, patient-centred care models. Through initiatives like this, we're finding new ways to meet the community's evolving needs, ensuring that quality care is available in settings that make the most sense for our patients.
Our vision at AWH is exciting as we embark on a transformative hospital redevelopment. This redevelopment will bring cutting-edge facilities, including a hybrid theatre and the possibility of robotic surgery programming right here in our region. Advancements that will reduce travel and improve access to specialised treatments. These initiatives renew our commitment to accessible, high-quality healthcare. By embracing new technologies and care models, we're focused on reducing wait times, increasing access, and ensuring that our community receives exceptional care close to home. Every step forward is guided by our purpose for a healthier future within this region.
Together, these initiatives and plans represent more than just growth. They reflect our dedication to creating a brighter healthcare future for our region. Every partnership, every new service, and each piece of community support brings us closer to our goal: accessible, leading-edge healthcare that the people of our community can rely on, close to home.
As we continue on this path, let's hold on to the core values that make AWH unique: our shared resilience, our commitment to excellence, and our passion to deliver outstanding care. The journey ahead is ambitious, but with every step, we're strengthening our vision for a healthier, more connected community. Thank you for being part of our journey and for your dedication to the road ahead.
Thank you so much, Joe and Tim, for your truly inspiring presentation and your absolutely outstanding work. And I'd also like to take a moment to acknowledge Joe and the team for their really well-deserved recognition for the Paediatric Cancer Care Nurse Coordinator initiative, which Joe spoke about, as being selected as a finalist in the Victorian Public Healthcare Awards, which took place a couple of weeks ago in Melbourne. It's a true testament not only to Joe and the team's incredible work, but to AWH's commitment to enhancing regional healthcare and improving the lives of local families affected by cancer. So thank you so much, Joe and your team. Okay, so we're going to move now into our questions on notice segment. And I would like to again extend our sincere thanks to the members of our community who took the time to submit their questions to us. Your engagement is extremely valuable for us and is vital as we continue to reflect on the progress we've made, to renew our dedication to delivering exceptional care and to reimagine what's possible for the future. Many of these questions touch on similar themes and we will be addressing them in those groupings today. And just a quick reminder, again, we won't be accepting any questions from the floor in this session, but encourage anyone with additional questions to shoot those to us on the email and we'll display those on the screen for you. So now we'll have a facilitated session for this, and I'll welcome again to the stage Bill Appleby, our CEO, and Sadie Tilleray as we address your questions on notice. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. As Jonathan already mentioned, these questions provide us with a valuable opportunity to address the topics that matter most to our community and offer further insight into the work that we're doing across Albury Wodonga Health. I'll be facilitating today's session, and to ensure questions are answered as fully as possible, Bill and Jonathan will take turns in responding. So, as Jonathan already mentioned, we've received a series of similar questions on a variety of topics, which include mental health, the Albury Wodonga Regional Hospital Project, our intergovernmental agreement, advocacy efforts, and the health services plan. So we're going to dive into the first theme, which focuses on mental health, and we have a few questions within this theme. So the first one actually goes to Jonathan. So Jonathan, could you please outline how AWH is aligning with the Victorian Royal Commission's recommendations and driving mental health reform, particularly through initiatives like the Transformation Programme? In your answer, could you please highlight key achievements such as expanding the lived and living experience workforce, establishing mental health and wellbeing locals, and introducing innovative programs like the Intensive Mobile Youth Outreach Service?
Thanks, Sadie, and I'd welcome Bill if you need to jump in with any detail, please feel free. So, in the context of mental health, it's I guess a complex area and an area in high demand in our service. And to contextualise it for those who may not understand or appreciate that the Royal Commission back in 2021 in Victoria handed down a raft of recommendations, and off the back of that, we in Victoria, which looks after a very large number of our mental health patients, released a new Mental Health Act. So that's resulted in a very large transformational project being required in mental health. So off the back of that, AWH has had a transitionary 3-year transformational program in response to the Royal Commission recommendation, addressing 12 key priority areas, as well as a few of our own ones. And off the back of that, we've introduced and expanded lived experience workshops and our lived experience workforce, established a mental health and wellbeing locals, and developed a range of innovative youth and career supported programs. And that transitionary period is coming up to expire fairly soon, and we'll be transitioning that to full-time operational rollout across AWH. So it's an area that's, as I said, in high demand. There's a lot of strain on the system. There's no doubting that. But this transformational program and our rolling out of the new Mental Health Act in Victoria, and of course there's the New South Wales regime as well, will go a long way to helping us achieve that into the future. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And sort of continuing on that mental health transformation theme, Bill, could you also speak to our approach to leadership in this area, including any plans for sustained improvements?
Thanks, Sadie. Well, as John just mentioned, I think there's been significant change over the last 3 years. The Royal Commission that was conducted in Victoria and the recommendations handed down in March 2021 really identified a system that was under significant strain and not fit for purpose. So our organisation has been embarking on that transition, embracing the 8 key areas of the mental health reform. Our job is not completed, to be honest. I think there's still a lot of work to go, and central to that is obviously workforce is a key issue, as it is right across the health service. From a leadership perspective, you know, when we're embarking on this redesign of services, that co-design is really, really important. Consumer voice, lived experience. There's been a lot of work over the last 3 years employing people into our mental health services who have lived experience. So that coupled with consumer voice is critical in terms of making sure that we are designing a fit-for-purpose mental health service for the broader community.
Thank you. And sort of continuing on that theme, you mentioned consumer voice in the mental health space. Jonathan, how is Albury Wodonga Health embedding community engagement and lived experience into mental health services?
Yeah, as I touched on in my first answer, Sadie, so we've conducted a range of co-production workshops, which are helping to refine the different service pathways that we offer. And one of the things to come out of those lived experience workshops and that co-production from the recommendations is digital services trial leadership. So very importantly, having a mechanism that mental health consumers can use virtually, which is, you know, in the context of the times we live, a very, very important innovation. And very pleasingly, in that innovative space, receiving a grant of $338,000 to help push that trial along and continue to be a leader across the state.
Great. And Bill, sort of on that aspect of service delivery and sort of leading into our next theme about the Albury Wodonga Regional Hospital project, can you please share the plans to minimise disruptions and maintain care during the redevelopment of Nolan House?
Yeah, absolutely, Sadie. I think that, I can certainly appreciate why people are concerned about that. At the end of the day, we need to work together to provide a safe environment for everyone and a therapeutic environment. I think it's important to call out that about 90% of hospital redevelopments are done on brownfield sites, so existing services in parallel to expanding services. So it's not unusual, it's more usual than unusual. I also would like to just point out that Albury Wodonga Health are very experienced themselves in expanding services on a live site and continuing to provide safe and therapeutic services. And whether it's our cancer services, whether it was a redevelopment over at Wodonga, whether it's more recently the negative pressure rooms that we've added on at the Albury campus, or the ED that we opened up in April. On each occasion, our staff have worked together with the contractor to ensure that the disruption and interruptions are minimised, that we maintain safe access and egress to our services for not only our patients but of course visitors and people visiting our services, so as well as our staff who are working there. So an enormous amount of coordination goes into actually developing a hospital site. Obviously there's lots of things that go behind the scenes in terms of interrupting services and linking into services, whether that be medical gases, electrical services, a whole raft of things. Each of those things are managed extremely carefully because we understand that it's so critically important to get it right. So in terms of minimising the impact, of course there'll be noise and there'll be interruptions and those sorts of things, but there'll be really strong communication out to our staff and to our consumers to make sure we manage things very safely.
Great, thank you. And the next question is based on the Albury Wodonga Regional Hospital project a bit more deeply, and one for both of you to answer really. So Bill and Jonathan, could you please address the concerns regarding the Wodonga Campus Services Plan and the potentially perceived lack of consultation from the Wodonga community? How do we clarify the consultation process that is undertaken, and how can we reassure the community about future involvement in decision making?
Yeah. Thanks, Sadie. So the Wodonga Entity Services Plan consultation was a process that was not owned by Albury Wodonga Health. It was a process owned by the Victorian Department of Health. So Albury Wodonga Health advocated very strongly for expanded advocacy. So I suppose, very frankly and disappointingly, that didn't occur. So although it is said that there was extensive internal consultation with our clinicians, and so it has been something that we can learn from, and something that we really do need to continue that advocacy with government around future planning, such as master planning at that particular site.
Yeah, as John said, I think it was disappointing. Certainly there was consultation with our clinicians internally and our leaders across the organisation, so despite our counsel and advocacy, that didn't happen. I think the Wodonga Entity Service Plan is a critical piece of planning though, because it's important that we know what goes on Albury in terms of consolidating acute and complex care, what will be the future of the Wodonga campus. So it has been through a lot of advocacy to make that happen and get that done. Now we've got that crystallisation and that view. So the work has been done, that's great. It would have been good to see community consultation. In terms of the next steps, master planning in 2026, which will be critically important. And again, we'll be strongly advocating that that master planning includes community consultation.
Thank you. And continuing on sort of talking about the project and moving into emergency care and some of the service delivery around that, Bill, could you also please explain a little bit about the plan to transition to a single site emergency department, and that plan has sort of raised some concerns about capacity and care standards from the community. So what confidence can Albury Wodonga Health offer to the people of the community and the surrounding area that the redevelopment and the subsequent closure of the Wodonga emergency department will meet emergency care needs? And in that answer, could you please also explain how we balance the need for updated infrastructure at Wodonga with our commitment to continuous care for the community?
Ooh, that's a big
That's a big
question. So maybe I'll start with, so what's going to remain on the Wodonga campus post 2028? So we're leaving 3 theatres there, which will be used for day surgery, which will be great in terms of improving our efficiency and effectiveness in terms of how we run our peri-op and surgical services. With the new development on the Albury campus, we will get additional theatres. So in total, we'll have 10 operating theatres, including a hybrid theatre. We will have our subacute services located there. We'll have outpatients located there, day medical patients who are receiving important transfusions and those sorts of things. And we'll also have our renal dialysis unit. Importantly, you know, we continue to develop and evolve our campuses. So we, you know, every year there's opportunities to apply for capital investment, and tomorrow we'll be submitting a capital investment request to upgrade our sterilisation area, which is not that exciting, but what is exciting is we'll be submitting an application to upgrade our renal dialysis unit. As people are living longer, chronic kidney disease is a big issue, and so we need to expand our number of points of care. In terms of what will go over to the Albury campus that currently exists at the Wodonga campus, our special care will go over there, our maternity services will go over there, and all acute services will be delivered at the Albury campus. In terms of ED, emergency department, a decision hasn't yet been made. With the investment on the Albury campus, additional points of care will be created in the ED department, including alcohol and other drugs, a number of points of care, 6 points of care. With those additional points of care, we'll need to make an evaluation whether or not it would be safe to close the Wodonga campus, and that will need to be ratified first and foremost by the Albury Wodonga Board, and then it would need to be ratified by the Secretary of the Victorian Department of Health. I think it's, you know, it should be a bit of a call out. In the annual report, you'll see that we supported just under 70,000 presentations in our ED departments this year, and that continues to grow despite all of the innovations that we'll talk about tonight. And, you know, patch was mentioned before, and hospital in the home. Despite that, with the community needs and chronic disease management, those numbers in ED presentations continue to grow. So we need to be absolutely satisfied that we can support that at the Albury campus.
Thank you. And on that, Jonathan, there has been some, you know, ongoing discussion about the greenfield versus the brownfield development for future funding. How is Albury Wodonga Health positioning itself to advocate for the best investment approach to meet those regional health needs and align with the 2021 clinical services plan?
Thanks, Sadie. I suppose the first thing that ought to be said is that the 2021 services plan is not the relevant services plan that has been endorsed and used by both governments. The 2022 revision was the relevant one, which was endorsed by Albury Wodonga Health's clinicians, the board and both departments. Look, and being extremely frank and honest, it's a highly controversial topic and something that people feel extremely strongly about, and rightly so. It's our health service. It's a thing very, very close to everybody's hearts. However, the project that we are committed to building and funded does deliver significant uplift, not only in capacity but also contemporising our clinical spaces, which is seriously important, and also, as Bill mentioned, making our overall structure, our system between our two campuses far more efficient and effective. It provides for future fit-outs as well, acknowledging that we are working in a funding envelope that is under pressure. But it is, and the thing to stress is that it is stage one of a master plan. So there is opportunity for advocacy for further stages. It is a exciting master plan and something that, if fulfilled, will look fantastic and be fantastic for our community. So I would implore everybody to get behind it and to throw their advocacy efforts behind further stage funding.
Thank you, Jonathan. So Bill, as Jonathan just touched on there, that cross-border cooperation really remains very vital for serving our 300,000 strong population. Are there any current risks or challenges to the intergovernmental agreement, and how can Albury Wodonga Health strengthen its leadership role in fostering that cross-border healthcare excellence?
I think it's important just to let the audience know that the IGA that we refer to, the Intergovernmental Agreement, is actually between the two state governments. So we're not necessarily parties to that, we're not signatories to that. That was re-signed in 2022, which demonstrates there's a commitment, a collaboration between our two state governments and the Department of Health and the New South Wales Ministry of Health. I think we've got at least 15 years of wisdom that's been built up in terms of managing complex cross-border relationships, and I feel really confident that we do have good quality relationships in place with both the New South Wales Ministry and the Department of Health. I would describe them as robust and collaborative, and I think that's important because we are dealing with very serious stuff. Also think the fact that we have got two governments who have committed a very substantial amount of money in very tight fiscal environment, for both states, of $558 million, really demonstrates through example confidence in our health service, but also strength in their collaborative approach to providing really state-of-the-art health services for the border region.
Thank you. And you've both touched on this evening the importance of those advocacy efforts and how Albury Wodonga Health wants to continue those into the future. So Bill, could you also please update us on the progress with securing funding for the bed shortfall, including modular pods and step-down beds, and where are those submissions? What's the current status?
I'd like to contextualise it just for a sec, because we often talk about just bed numbers, and beds are a little bit like closets. If you've got lots of closets at home, you'll fill them up, and if we've got lots of beds, we'll fill them up. The fact that we haven't had enough beds since 2019 at this health service, based on our 2022 clinical services plan, shows that we as an organisation have been unbelievably innovative. And Joe called out innovation in terms of the way we've approached surgery, in terms of the way we've rolled out innovative hospital avoidance programs, whether it's residential in reach, whether it's hospital in the home, subacute in the home, more recently paediatric in the child home. So there's lots of things that we do on the front side of hospital avoidance to, I suppose, make sure that when we are using our acute beds, we're using them extremely wisely. So I just want to mention that first and foremost. Secondly, that we've been a very under-digitalised service, and with digitalisation brings opportunities to improve greater efficiency and effectiveness in organisation. And tonight we've heard about the implementation of Maya, which is a real game changer in terms of the way we work with our regional health services to manage step-down and step-up care. Making sure that we're using all assets, not just the beds at Albury Wodonga, but the beds across the whole Hume region, which I think is really, really important. In terms of the interim solutions between now and 28, when the new clinical services building will be realised, it's no secret that our organisation has advocated strongly for two things, and both are important. And that's the activation of 20 beds over at the Old Mercy Hospital as step-down care. And secondly, the securing of modular, 32 beds for modular, which will help us actually ring-fence those beds to assist in doing a greater volume of surgical procedures. In terms of where are they at, we continue to advocate, and more recently we've resubmitted a business case for the Mercy 20 beds.
Thank you. And on the same theme, Jonathan, could you please share more about those advocacy efforts of Albury Wodonga Health to the Victorian Government for the creation of the Ovens and Murray Local Health Services Network?
Thanks, Sadie. Yeah, look, it's no secret that we've been very actively engaging with the Victorian government in their engagement with all health services across Victoria, which has been, I think, going on for the better part of 18 months now. So it's been a long process. We believe at Albury Wodonga Health that a regional approach is a really necessary thing into the future. That would be the first thing to say. As Bill touched on, there is a lot of capacity in the regions, while some of the larger hospitals are under significant strain, such as ourselves. So a more coordinated approach to how we use our resources. We do work in the system, we don't work in a silo, is really, really important because it can lead to far better outcomes for our patients, and that's important, and better utilisation of resources out there sitting underutilised or idle. So it is it's a great opportunity, it's a transformative opportunity. I appreciate some may see it with trepidation or fear as a takeover or something of that sort. It is something that is a commonality across other jurisdictions, across where they have far bigger networked approaches in their health systems. That said though, Albury Wodonga Health does, and we do view ourselves as a natural leader in our area. We certainly believe that we need to have more localised solutions as well as a regional outlook. So we've worked very hard with our Ovens Murray partners to see what we might be able to advocate for jointly, and the jury's still out on how that might look. So we'll find out fairly soon.
Thank you. And Jonathan, Ross presented earlier on our financial position from the annual report. Could you also provide an overview tonight of Albury Wodonga Health's current financial position, including any key challenges and strategies being implemented to ensure financial sustainability while continuing to meet the growing needs of our community?
Yeah, so as Ross did touch on, and also Bill touched on, being somewhat under-resourced, but significantly under-resourced in places, throws down the gauntlet to be very innovative and very efficient at what we do. Obviously, sustainable service delivery, i.e. managing our budget, is extremely important. It is noteworthy that what we experienced in the last financial year, i.e. $52 million deficit, is not uncommon across the system. So our counterparts also ran significant deficit budgets. In terms of this year, we have obviously had to make significant representations to the department around us meeting budget and including budget action planning. So that is where we can find savings across the organisations that don't affect patient care or clinical services. And also, again, investing in our infrastructure and our data-driven tools to really help us manage our budget. So it is a future focus, and as it's not just one thing in isolation, it's a system approach. So as I mentioned just before, utilising the assets of the system is really important to making sure that patients are seen to quicker, that we get better health outcomes, but it also helps deliver a sustainable financially sustainable service.
Thank you. And to wrap up our questions on notice this evening, Bill, we're going to talk about workforce challenges, which, as you've sort of already touched on, both of you remain a key focus of our region. Could you speak to the strategies for recruiting and retaining staff, particularly in our regional context, and how can we as a community and as a system work together to attract candidates by addressing broader needs such as housing and childcare, education and integration support?
Thanks, Sadie. Well, this is an all-night conversation. Workforce is a key enabler. When you think about healthcare, really, it's about infrastructure, it's about digitalisation, and it's about people. And then it's wrapping a central purpose, culture and leadership, and that's really your organisation. Workforce, I think I'd make a couple comments because I am conscious of time. Firstly, we are the biggest employer in the region. We employ 3,500 staff, and with our projected workforce needs with the new clinical services building, it's another 550 EFT. So looking at our sort of workforce profile, we're talking about 750 more people that we need to employ. So we serve a bigger purpose than just providing essential health services to the region. We are significantly important for the economy, but also to provide an opportunity to have meaningful careers. We have only just 4 strategic pillars in our new Transforming for Our Future strategic plan, and one of those is empowered teams, which underscore the importance of attracting and retaining and investing in the best and the brightest, but also making sure that they are working together collaboratively as a team. So there is a very sophisticated plan, and the way we go about doing that for medical and surgical compared to, say, our nursing staff, to our allied health staff, to our general staff or our corporate staff, they're very different strategies. I would say that we are very blessed as a health service, given the fact that we've got New South Wales University co-located, so that's great from a workforce, and we do have a strategy of growing our own. It's really important that we do grow our own. We do have Charles Sturt University, which is strong in allied health and nursing, and they now do have a rural pathway to medicine, as well as La Trobe University. And actually my colleague Kim and I were out there on Friday, where they had just invested $4.9 million upgrading their wet labs for nursing. And at the end of the day, we need to have, if we're going to provide excellence in healthcare, we need excellence in our educational facilities. So I think we are really well positioned, and we should feel quite excited about the fact that we have great educational facilities. Having said that, you know, the agency is a challenge. We do need to make sure that when we are attracting people into our community, that we're providing the right infrastructure, and I think the whole of community's got a role in that, whether it's about access to education for our children, whether it's about embedding people in the community and making them feel welcome, whether it's around childcare. Childcare is a big barrier for many of our staff to participate in full-time employment. So there's lots of things that we can do to be an attractive workplace, but what we need to be is an attractive region. I mean, the region speaks for itself. As you know, I'm a bit of a blow-in, not a local, and only been here for 2.5 years, but you know, the waterways, the snowfields, the wineries, it is a beautiful area to live, but there are some challenges around housing and you know, my kids have grown up, but particularly around education and childcare. So some of those things need to be addressed as a community. But certainly it is a critical area and a critical focus for the organisation.
Thank you, and thanks both Bill and Jonathan. That brings us to the end of our questions on notice for this evening. As we wrap up this segment, I want to remind everyone that any follow-up or additional questions can be sent to the email address that is displayed on the screen. And I'll now hand back the floor to Jonathan to continue this evening's proceedings.
Okay, thank you, Sadie, and thank you, Bill. Now it gives me a great pleasure to introduce our third and final group of keynote speakers, Linda Hudak, Chief Operating Officer of Acute Hospital Services, and Adam Skidmore, General Surgeon, and they'll take us through to the conclusion of our 15-year anniversary journey to reimagine our services. Together, we are not just advancing healthcare, we are transforming the health and wellbeing of our community for years to come. And let's embrace this vision and see what the future holds. And we look forward to hearing from Adam and Linda. Thank you.
Thank you, John, and nice to see everyone here tonight. Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to talk about Reimagine. After listening through Jess's reflections and Tim and Joe's views on renewal, there's some really key themes in there that really brings me to think about how do we reimagine what our health services look like moving forward. You know, we talk about our challenges in workforce, in access to care, our challenges with access to our inpatient units and the work that we need to do just to try and manage on a day-to-day basis. We talk about, you know, our growing planned surgery wait lists and the challenges we have trying to access, our community has trying to access planned surgery in our region.
And we also talk about the growing costs of being able to deliver care. Well, these things can all be a little grim in the current environment that we're working in. I personally feel really excited about what the future holds for us. As a healthcare provider in this area, we're the second largest regional health service in Victoria. We have some amazing opportunities moving forward and moving into the future with the build of the clinical services building that's coming online in a few years' time. And for that, Adam and I have done a little bit of work on just working through what does this look like for us in the future. I'm really hopeful and really excited about what these opportunities bring for us. And instead of looking at these things as challenges and what's really difficult for us every day at the moment, I actually see as a real opportunity to bring the community together. For us to be able to deliver on and reimagine what our health service looks like in the future, Albury Wodonga Health can't do this on our own. To resolve our challenges in workforce and ensure that we're able to bring care closer to home and to enable our patients in our community to receive access to care, whatever part of the journey that they're on, in the right place and at the right time, we need to do that with our partners. And that's not just our other health partners in our region, it's also our primary and community healthcare providers. It's, as Bill touched on, it's the community and what we need to do to resource and be able to provide infrastructure for another 750 people that we'll need in a few years' time. So what I'm talking about tonight is our vision in that space, and we really, from that, it's around building a regional centre for excellence, not just for Albury Wodonga Health, but for our region. And what does that look like? For me, what that looks like is being able to provide seamless access to care for our community that's accessible and is equitable. So making sure that every single community member can access the care that they need in a timely way. It's giving patients the right treatment at the right time and the right place. And this is achieved through, as I mentioned, regional partnerships with all areas across our community. And I have great hope in that. There's been great engagement in some recent meetings that I've attended with some of our local partners in that space. Consolidating our relationships with our metropolitan centres. Our tertiary providers have access to amazing training programs that we can link into. So we really see that as a great opportunity in terms of how we can educate our staff and leverage off each other's experience up and down the freeway. Embracing cutting-edge technology to improve our care is really important as well. We've previously mentioned about our lack of digital enablement that we have in our organisation and the opportunities that we have moving forward into the future. In terms of delivering best practice in the clinical landscape, regionalisation allows for us to forge new local treatment pathways to patients in this space. And I'll hand over to Adam to talk to this particular area.
Yeah, so I've got a disclaimer, I'm a much better surgeon than a public speaker. So basically the aim of what we're talking about is that it should become a rarity for local patients to have to travel to get the best available care. And one of the points that we need to drive about that is increasing and improving our clinical services. So we look at that by making sure we can offer as an organisation things that the major metropolitan centres offer, and that's still going to mean collaborating with those major centres. So we're still going to need to get the education and the support from those centres in order to be able to provide those services. We want to be able to share ideas. That doesn't just mean tertiary centres, we want to share ideas with other regional centres, so the smaller centres around us, because we can learn from them too. We can pool and collaborate our resources and we can learn from each other as well. And I think that's been one of the major drivers that Linda's been involved in is getting that regionalisation program going. And we really want to grow Albury Health's self-sufficiency. That's the main aim of what we're looking at in the future. I'll hand back to Linda for the next bit.
Thanks, Adam. So one of the really key areas that I touched on is around workforce solutions in that space. So retention, and we know we've talked about this a few times tonight, the retention and the recruitment of our capability and what it needs to look like going into the future. What we need now and what we need in 3 or 4 years' time when the clinical services building comes online is very different. It's exciting. We're in a phase at the moment where we're thinking about service planning and what do our models of care need to look like? What's the opportunities that we have when this great new clinical services building comes online? How are we going to deliver services in a more contemporary and innovative way? And to do that, we need workforce, and we need capable workforce. So we're planning now, as Bill mentioned in the Q&As, there is a lot of work happening to build those pathways. And to be able to do that, we need the partnerships, and we can't solve this problem on our own. So it's engaging all of our providers in our regional area, our metros, our other peripheral health services, but also importantly our tertiary and vocational partners in the community. Growing our relationships, as mentioned as well, and building centres of training and management of complex conditions. So thinking about what are the current services that we know that we're not delivering at the moment in the community, but our clinical services plan tells us that we need to be delivering it by the time we get to the new clinical services building, and planning for that in a comprehensive way. And even moving aside from the clinical aspects of it, how do we develop leaders, and how do we develop our junior workforce and succession plan well, so that we're giving clinicians the right training at the right time to develop in their own time into good clinical leaders that we know they want to be in the future. Introduction of a regional surgical robotics program, and I'll let Adam talk to this one in a moment, but also the development of local training pathways. You know, there's great opportunity in terms of, you know, being able to access other training sites other than just Albury Wodonga Health. Being able to give our staff the opportunity to experience what it's like working in a small rural health service, or experience what it's like, you know, working in primary healthcare, such as Gateway Health or PHNs, for example. We've got a plethora of opportunities that we can offer and build into some really robust and rigorous and exciting training programs for our staff. So I'll hand over to Adam now just to talk a little bit about robotics and what that opportunity presents for us as a great example of what reimagining our health service could look like.
So robotic surgery has been something that's been available to metropolitan patients for the last 20 odd years. There's good data and good evidence that there's better outcomes, better results, particularly with cancer surgery, less complications and shorter lengths of stay, which free up beds and those sort of things for the organisation. We are very carefully looking at this, really putting a very solid business case in to try and get this across the line, because I believe if we get this across the line, our workforce recruitment will improve. I want to attract the best possible surgeons into the area who want to stay in the area. And one way of doing that is to move forward with innovation and technology, and the robot is certainly something that we in this organisation can use to that benefit.
Thanks, Adam. And lastly, I just really wanted to touch on what are some of the runs that we have on the board at the moment, some of the really exciting things that leads us into the future and what our health service can look like. So I know Reece is here tonight. Great to see you, Reece. So Alpine Health is a really good example of where those regional partnerships are really coming into play and enabling our community members to access endoscopy services sooner than what they could have, because you know, there's good engagement and partnership with Alpine and a real commitment to be able to deliver more endoscopy work out of our peripheral sites. Weekly operating lists utilising our local staff across the areas as well is increasing our efficiencies as well. Adoption of the government's maternity and perioperative capability frameworks, that presents a really wonderful opportunity for the health service and health across the state as a whole. Standardising how we deliver care and creating role delineation across our hospitals, but also based on evidence-based capability frameworks, means that every hospital is delivering services the same way at the right time and with the right guardrails wrapped around them. What that also does is that it means that we have real clarity around what patients we can be delivering care to at what sites. So from a regionalisation perspective, it's a real bonus for us to have clear understanding around what that care can look like, so that we can stream patients much more quickly. A regional patient administration system, which is Jess touched on earlier. We've also had, as Bill mentioned, the Maya platform is a game changer for us. Being able to have access and visibility and transparency moving forward into the future will enable us to be able to use all of our assets across our health services across the region in a more timely way. Regional virtual care platform as well under the Maya program. That gives us 20 virtual care home beds that we can access across the region using that same platform and be able to deliver more timely care and visibility of how the patient's conditions are looking at home using a simple phone app for our consumers is also going to be a game changer. Most recently, and particularly in the last week, investment in the Victorian CRM. Albury Wodonga Health has been earmarked as the first regional site to go live with a Victorian CRM, which will enable us a more automated system for our planned surgery wait list, which will reduce the burden on our clinicians having to manually contact patients. It'll automate that whole process. It'll also give us the ability to automate our outpatient services as well. So that's a really exciting change for us, and it also signals that there's increasing confidence in the health service and the ability of our superstars like Joe, Tim and Jess and what they're doing on the ground to create innovative ways of working. That's where in short, we really see our health service going into the future. So thank you, and I'll hand back to Jonathan.
Thank you both, Adam and Linda, for your insightful and extremely exciting presentation. It's a massive leap forward, and I think we've compressed a lot of innovation to the last few years, so your efforts are truly appreciated. Thank you. As we conclude our meeting, I'm really thrilled to share a special video that we've prepared that captures our remarkable 15-year journey. The video not only highlights the milestones we've achieved, but also showcases our ongoing commitment to providing safe, high-quality care tailored to the diverse needs of our border community. It's a celebration of our past, a reflection of our present, and a glimpse into the promising future that we're all working together to create. So I'll ask that the video be started. Thank you.
2024 marks a significant milestone for Albury Wodonga Health. As we celebrate the opportunity to provide high-quality healthcare to our communities, we embrace the chance to reflect, renew and reimagine healthcare to our region.
Reflecting on our journey, we've traversed a remarkable evolution. From our humble beginnings in 2009, our commitment to high-quality, safe, person-centred care has seen our health service grow into the second largest regional health service in Victoria, servicing a border region catchment of over 300,000 people, servicing people across both states.
Our past is rich with milestones. Over the past 15 years, Albury Wodonga Health has experienced remarkable transformations that reflect our commitment to advancing healthcare in our region.
In 2013, we were given the opportunity to upgrade the Wodonga Emergency Department. This significant upgrade allows us to see 26,000 people a year and has laid the groundwork for future developments in our commitment for patient-centred care.
In 2016, we celebrated the opening of the Albury Wodonga Regional Cancer Centre.
This landmark achievement brought essential cancer care services, medical oncology and radiation therapy closer to home for over 250,000 people.
This is a pivotal moment in our mission to bring comprehensive cancer care to our community.
The journey continued in 2018 with the introduction of the Cardiac Cath Lab in partnership with St Vincent's Health Melbourne. This new facility allows us to offer advanced diagnostic and interventional services, cardiac services not previously accessible within our region.
In 2020, we proudly unveiled the Brain and Mind Centre, a $3 million cutting-edge facility designed to support people with mental health challenges. The centre exemplifies our dedication to providing support to people in our community. Additionally, we established a single mental health telephone and triage service, merging 3 services into one streamlined mental health support system.
Fast forward to April 2024 with the opening of our state-of-the-art $36 million emergency department in Albury. The new facility, funded by the New South Wales and Victorian Government, commissioned purpose-built resuscitation bays, an acute zone, a short stay unit and a paediatric zone to provide safe, reliable emergency care.
Our history is a testament to our enduring dedication to improving healthcare and adapting to the evolving needs of our community. Each milestone represents a significant step forward in our mission to deliver exceptional care and support.
I'm so happy that I'm being reminded 15 years, how quick has that gone? Of those 15 years of fabulous service for Albury Wodonga Health, the region's premier health service, the only one of its kind in Australia as a cross-border, I'm reminded of what the vision and strategic direction that the board took those years ago to set it in motion the way it is today. And I just think that vision and the reality of compassionate care, care that's closer to home, quality care is all being provided in this fabulous facility. As I look here behind me, the Cancer Centre, 8 years old, a cath lab, 5 years old, an ED, 5 months old. That passion, that commitment, that vision of early boards has continued, that Albury Wodonga Health continues to provide first-class quality care, compassionate care, innovative care closer to home for not just Albury Wodonga but a much wider region. Happy birthday, Albury Wodonga Health.
Looking back on the last 15 years, I'm incredibly proud of what Albury Wodonga Health have achieved. Everything that we do is to improve patient experience, which ultimately benefits our community.
This anniversary marks a new chapter in our journey, where renewal is not just a concept but a daily practice that shapes our future. Renewing our connection with the community is at the heart of our celebration. This commitment drives every aspect of our work, from adopting cutting-edge technology to fostering a culture of continuous learning and improvement. We're dedicated to redefining what's possible in healthcare.
As we reflect on our 15-year journey, we remember that renewal is at the core of our future, not only in our facilities, but how we approach healthcare. Acknowledging our 15-year celebration is not just about the past, but it's about renewing our promise to advance the health and well-being of our region. Renewal means reimagining how we can better serve our community, integrating the latest advancements and continuous improvement. It's about strengthening our partnerships, enhancing our facilities and investing in our people to ensure that we remain at the forefront of healthcare delivery.
Looking to the future, there is a lot of innovations that are coming up and I'm really looking forward for it. With my past 14 years when I compare, the health service have gone up and with the future I can see a big boost for the community.
Over the last 15 years, I've been a part of the volunteer program, and I think that if we stay true to the values of listening to patients and telling them what we are doing, I think that our future for Albury Wodonga Health will be rich and full and have a better health system.
Our 15-year journey is a testament to the commitment and resilience of our staff and the support that we receive from our community. As we look ahead, we look forward to reimagining our services for the next 15 years and beyond to support the needs of our broader communities.
Our legacy of care and compassion lays a strong foundation for our future. Reimagining healthcare means embracing big and bold ideas. We envisage a future where our service evolves in new and transformative ways to meet the growing needs of our community. And this is not only about what we do and improve today, but about imagining and creating new possibilities for tomorrow.
As we celebrate 15 years of Albury Wodonga Health, we stand at the threshold of a new era. Our commitment to reflect on the past, renew our present, and reimagine our future drives us forward. We are poised to transform healthcare through innovation, compassion, and a steadfast dedication to our community. Here's the next 15 years of groundbreaking achievements and enduring progress.
Fantastic. And that marks the conclusion of this evening's formalities. I'd like to extend my gratitude and thanks to everyone who's joined us here this evening, both in the room and online. As it is a formal board meeting, I will close the meeting, but please join us for some refreshments just at the back there, where we can continue to have a chat. So have a good evening and thank you.